Good morning, and welcome back for day 5, our last day together. Yes, I know, time has passed so quickly, but this is our last day together. My name is Chuck, and I welcome you back for a very, very special ending to the week. Today we're going to be talking about a new home, about a book of the Bible, Revelation, the last book of the Bible. Remember, we started in Genesis, the first book of the Bible. Today, we're looking at Revelation, which is the last book of the Bible. We'll be looking at Revelation chapter 21, a new creation. My name is Chuck, and this week we have been talking about creation and how God created everything and how God cares for creation and how you are part of God's creation. And God created the things that we need, the water and the trees and the food, the rocks, the bushes, the birds, the animals, all of the things we need. Yesterday we talked about trees with deep roots. We talked about nutrients, food and apples and seeds and growing. Today we're going to talk about God's plan for a new home for all of us at the end of time. But let us open with a prayer. Creator God, long ago you created a beautiful world. Over time, the earth you made has been harmed. Oceans and lakes have become polluted. Forests have been cut down. And we have used more resources than necessary. Forgive us for the ways we have not cared for the earth. Thank you for your promise that one day you will make a new heaven and a new earth. Amen. And as always, I read our memory verse, our Bible verse from the book of Psalms, which is in the Old Testament, that we've been reading all week long. I trust in God's unfailing love forever and ever. For what you have done, I will always praise you in the presence of your faithful people. And I will hope in your name, for your name is good. And of course, if you can only remember a little bit, remember the first part. I trust in God's unfailing love forever and ever. That's the important part of that. But let's get to our Bible verse for today. It talks about a new creation. And the seed of faith that I want to plant today with you is that God will make all things new again. Remember, we've been talking about creation in God's great, big, beautiful world. And that God has created, God is creating, and God will continue to create. So here now we're reading from Revelation, the last book in the Bible, chapter 21, which is the next to the last chapter in the book of Revelation, verses 1 through 4. And it talks about a new heaven and a new earth. And listen to this. These are comforting words. I saw a new heaven and a new earth. The first heaven and the first earth had disappeared, and so had the sea. Then I saw New Jerusalem, that holy city, coming down from God in heaven. It was like a bride dressed in her wedding gown, ready to meet her husband. I heard a loud voice from the throne. God's home is now with his people. He will live with them, and they will be his own. Yes, God will make his home among his people. He will wipe out all tears from their eyes. And there will be no more death, suffering, crime, or pain. These things of the past are gone forever. Reading now from Revelation 22, the last chapter of the book of Revelation, verses 1 through 5. The angel showed me a river that was crystal clear, and its waters gave life. The river came from the throne where God and the Lamb were seated. Then it flowed down the middle of the city's main street. On each side of the river are trees that grow a different kind of fruit each month of the year. The fruit gives life, and the leaves are used as medicine to heal the nations. God's curse will no longer be on the people of that city. He and the Lamb will be seated on their thrones, and the people will worship God and see him face to face. God's name will be written on the foreheads of the people. Never again will night appear, and no one who lives there will ever need a light or the sun. The Lord God will be their light, and they will rule forever. Some of that's confusing. Yes, it can be. But it's also extremely comforting. And that's the message I want to impart this morning. That's the message I want to give to you. God has created, God is creating, and God will continue to create. And God will make all things new. Going back to chapter 21 in Revelation, I saw a new heaven and a new earth. Our earth has taken a beating. Many of our waters are polluted. Some of our forests are being stripped. Some people actually do not have enough to eat. They live in parts of the world where there's not enough rain and the crops don't grow. Some people have not been good stewards of the earth. They've not taken care of it very well. They throw away trash and pollute the waters, pollute the parks and the streets. Continuing reading, the first heaven and the first earth had disappeared, and so had the sea. In the Bible, a lot of times the sea is used as a point of confusion, point of scariness. The sea can be scary. It's big and powerful. So in this case, John, who was having this dream, saw that the sea disappeared. And that was confusion and scariness. So what John was seeing in his dream was that the scariness of the world, the scariness of the sea would disappear. Then I saw a new Jerusalem, John saw in his dream, the holy city coming down from God in heaven. Where is heaven? Where do you think heaven is? Well, most of the time we point up, just like I did. It's up there. No, wait. Maybe it's over there. Maybe it's over there. I don't know. We're not sure. But God saw the new heaven. John saw God lowering the new earth and the new heaven. And it was dressed like a bride. Perhaps you've been to a wedding, seen a beautiful bride. John in his dream heard, this is the most important part. A loud voice from the throne. This was God talking. God's home is now with his people. He will live with them, and they will be his own. Yes, God will make his home among his people. He will wipe away all the tears from their eyes, and there will be no more death, suffering, crying, or pain. These things are past and are gone. What can be more comforting than living with the ones you love? Oh yes, we've been kind of cooped up with the ones we love a lot lately, and sometimes the ones we love get on our nerves. They do. I had an older sister and a younger brother. Oh yeah. And they got on my nerves, and I'm sure I got on theirs. And I'm sure your brothers and sisters, if you have some, get on your nerves, and you better believe you get on theirs too. But what could be worse than not living with them? Imagine yourself living away from your loved ones. And here is the blessing of the Bible, that we have God saying, I will come and live with you and your family at the end. God will make his home among his people. Heaven won't be up there. Heaven won't be over there. We will be with God in heaven, and God will be with us in our home. And there will be no more death. There will be no more suffering. There will be no more crying or pain. Okay, I want everybody that's not cried to raise your hand. Didn't see any hands go up. We've all cried. We've all suffered. We've all had a loss. Unfortunately, the older we get, sometimes the more we lose. But God promises that in the end, these sufferings, these crying, this pain will be gone forever. These things of the past are gone forever. God will create a new earth. God